4.2806 times 10 to the 52nd power is the amount of Planck time in 73 years. That sentence in and of itself does not want you to understand it. It wants to be said and then left alone. The number is too big to carry. It spills, it stains, it becomes a lot, and then it becomes nothing. You nod, you move on, and that is how most things survive in your head. The word purple didn't really exist the way it does now until around the late 900s. People saw purple before that, obviously, but they bled it, they bruised, they crushed berries, they watched sunsets, but the word itself wobbled. It slid around. Sometimes it meant red. Sometimes it meant blue. Sometimes it meant power. Language lags behind seeing. It always does. We notice things long before we agree on what to call them. Someone may or may not have looked up what the word decor meant in the past 15 minutes. That sentence in and of itself is ridiculous, and yet it is almost 100% true. Someone always is. Someone is always stuck on a word. Someone is looking up something right now. Someone is doing something right now. Always hovering over a gap, always pausing for 10 seconds to know something. That happens everywhere, constantly. All of these facts that I just gave you are completely useless. On average, you will not need Planck time. You will not need medieval color theory. You will not need to be tested on the spelling of decor. You could forget all of this and still make it through the week. Still eat, still sleep, still show up late to something. And yet, you probably used the word purple recently. Maybe without noticing. You didn't need its history. You didn't need to know dye or royalty or snails or Latin roots. You used it. It worked. Meaning snapped into place. That's quite strange, don't you think? That's fragile, and that's beautiful. You did not need the entirety of the history of the letter P to understand that the leftmost screw on a Boeing 747 heading to Detroit at 1:24 p.m. on a February 2nd, 2012 is probably not hexadecimal color code 8080. You filtered, you guessed, you moved on. You lived by assumptions. You survived by ignoring almost everything. What you know is likely a scratch. What I know is definitely a scratch. What we don't know is an ocean. What we don't know is the universe. Everything. You cross streets daily, you fall in love, you buy things, and you act like the floor is solid. You are a computer. A sloppy one, a wet one. You take inputs and turn them into feelings. If I pinch you right now, it would probably hurt. You run on electricity and salt. You do math without numbers. You predict the future and call it anxiety. You remember things wrong and call it truth. You process things faster than you can name. Somewhere between impossible numbers per second, you store memories in a way that degrades when you touch them. You get anywhere from 10 to 200 frames a second, except you don't actually see frames. You see a smear. A stitched together dream that mostly lines up with what you see. It's how your brain processes things. These are your eyes. These are your cameras. These are your displays. You look out and you look in with the same equipment. You see in something like 576 megapixels, which is a lie, kind of, but a useful one. You are mostly water, and you call yourself a human being, a homo sapien, a person. If we pushed you and everyone you loved and know, and everyone you hate and don't know, through a pinhole in under a millisecond, it wouldn't hurt, because you wouldn't feel it, because you would have died the second it happened. Pain takes too long for you to comprehend in a millisecond. Thought takes time too. You would be gone before you could finish forming the word "oh." That's not a thread, it's just scale. The universe is very fast, and you are super slow. None of this will help you in the next 3 seconds. It will not fix your posture. It will not refill your glass of water. If anyone texts you back, it will not text with that knowledge. You keep listening to this for some reason. You're still here for some reason. You let useless things sit in your head and rearrange furniture. That is unhinged behavior, you little freak. And somehow you still eat bread on Tuesdays in December. You still notice that it is a Tuesday. You still care that it is December. All of this time and scale and math, and you still have routines. You still get hungry. You're probably bored right now. All of this air on the planet, and you can still swim in the oceans. All of this water, and you can still drown. All of this electricity in the walls right now, and I can touch one without dying. All of this danger and nicety and softness and heat and spikes and pricks and everything is existing everywhere, constantly, and we ignore it. We ignore so much. Civilization is a suggestion that we keep agreeing to, even though we really shouldn't. If you were a god, you would probably be bored. Infinite power would flatten everything because you would understand everything. No tension, no surprise, because you would know that there's tension and surprise. No reason to look closely at anything, but you're not a god. Or if you are, there's no reason for you to be watching a YouTube video. You miss things. You have probably not noticed the exact color of this right here. You probably don't know which direction I looked in 3 seconds ago. You drop things all the time. You forget names and all of that, and you still exist. You still have memories. If you were a god, it would be so disappointing. But we're not. We exist on this planet with spiky things and cold temperatures. For now, at least. Go outside, please. Not as an advice, as an instruction. Go outside and look for yellow items. Not yellow as in the word, yellow as in the shades. Green, purple. Go find an object, a stick. Put it in your hands, bring it inside, and do something with it. You're human. You're complex. You're breakable. If I punched you, it would hurt you. If you punched me, it would hurt me. This would not make me any smarter. Keep moving. You have legs for a reason. Your brain is constantly going for a reason. Don't get stuck in redundancy, and don't sit in your room for 8 hours a day. Not in a heroic way. Not keep going and power through. I legitimately mean keep existing. Please, in a stubborn way. To upset those who you don't agree with. To exist. For the color yellow. If you stop, a pattern collapses that cannot be redrawn. Your brain thought can't be brought up from the brink of extinction. If you stop thinking, then you stop thinking. The world loses of our very particular angle. Every little chemical that you have ever interacted with, every piece of information that you have ever known, everything will cease to exist when you cease to exist in your own head. Don't let the planet that we live on, that we all share, the complex, every single thing, everything on the planet, don't let it be ruined. We have 4 years, guys. We have 4 years until ecology cannot be redone. Our global warming it'll be too much, and it will likely be irreversible. Biodiversity will drop. Everything will change. Don't let this happen, guys. That's all I got for y'all.